Welcome to your #1 show. Let's talk about our health and well-being. I am your host, Chinwe Aguguo, and today I'll be taking you through with our amazing doctors, Dr. Chioma Duru, and who is the GP here in the United Kingdom, and we have our amazing Dr. Ursula, consultant here also in the UK, doctor of high repute. Doc, you traveled to Nigeria recently. How was your trip?
Oh gosh, it was quite an exciting trip and learned a lot as well.
Yeah.
As I used that opportunity to lend myself to a program that we run in my hometown. I'm from Buta, and we run this fortnightly program of BG monitoring and blood glucose monitoring and BP checks. And it's quite an informative thing, how people access such support. I also had the opportunity to visit one of the local hospitals, with a family member in the hospital, and had more of an insight as to management back home. I gave my views.
Wow.
I thought what I think could be done better, and there were some things that were pretty good.
Wow.
No two ways about it, but we still have a long way to go. Hopefully
So it was quite interesting, right?
Very
Good,
interesting.
good. I know you brought a lot of goodies. We will enjoy it after our show.
No problem about that.
Yeah, today we will be discussing about liver disease, as I mentioned earlier, and we all know what liver is. And liver is about a size of football, which is located under our right side of our abdomen. It's very, very essential for digestion and get rid of body toxic substances, right, Doc? So we would like to understand what chronic liver disease is. And Dr. Chioma, please, you will explain to us what chronic liver disease is.
Okay. I suppose I could start by saying the liver, we have the parts of the liver that we have. So we have the cells of the liver, which in simple terms, they will be the soldiers. That's where all the activities within the liver happens. And then you have the tubes, which will be draining and collecting those substances from the cells to then transport out of the liver to the rest of the body. And part of that channel, you also have the gallbladder, where you produce your bile to help with digestion, like you mentioned, and then of course you have your blood vessels, your veins. So, and things could happen in any part of these three parts that could lead to a problem. So there could be a problem within the gallbladder itself that could affect the liver. There could be a problem within the blood vessels, and there could be a problem within the liver.
Yeah.
So each of these parts can be the source of the problem, and that would be what determines the degree of the problem. Where is that problem? What is causing it? And is it something that can be corrected? So a simple acute liver problem, or the more chronic, long-term, the chronic liver disease. Again, there are different types of it. When we say chronic liver disease, it's quite broad because the cause will be a number of things. It could be something that we're born with. It could be something that happened because of lifestyle, or it could be because of infection, all sorts really. It's quite a broad topic, and I think we're going to have to try and simplify it and to the more common ones.
Yeah.
So, the more common ones, I suppose we could start with, again, the blood pressure that we mentioned before.
Okay.
Yeah, we start with the blood pressure that we mentioned before. Somebody with high blood pressure can, as a backlog effect, have an impact on the liver, which can lead to liver failure.
Wow.
So that can be a reason.
And this is a very complicated organ, I think, very sensitive, right?
Yeah, because it's a very important organ. It does a lot. All the medication that we take, it's primarily broken down. Most of them, majority of them are broken down within the liver. Some are broken down in the kidneys, but most of them are broken down in the liver. So you can imagine if we're taking all sorts of medication, and not just medication, herbs. And we're very good in taking herbs without knowing what is in that herb and how is it affecting our body, how is it interacting with whatever medication we've been prescribed for other things. So that in itself can be a cause of the liver problem. So medication. You then talk about alcohol.
That's another thing, because we like alcohol.
You talk about alcohol. Again, nobody is saying don't, but a little bit of, a little bit is good for you.
Moderation,
Too much of everything is bad for you. So the alcohol can be the cause of that liver problem. And it could be an infection. Again.
But, sorry, Doc, sorry to cut you. So when you mention alcohol, how do we tell our people the amount of alcohol or the type of alcohol they need to take in order to make sure that it didn't really have negative impact in their liver?
By me not practicing in Nigeria, I'm going to base the information, the knowledge from what I have here in UK.
Okay.
Here in UK, the recommendation is it's measured in units, so each 1 unit of alcohol. So I think the guidance is 14 units per week. That if you're having 14 units per week, and that 14 units, you're spreading it maybe over 4 or 5 day period. So you're not having that 14 units in one day. You sit and have it as a binge. It's unhealthy. So it's good if you spread it, say you have 2 units of alcohol and 2 units, your shot of spirit is a unit of alcohol. So once you've had 2 shots, that's 2 units. The recommendation is 14 for the week. So you've got then to work it out how you take it. So that means, broadly speaking, if you're having, say you're having 20 units, some people maybe have more, a can of beer, I think it's about 2 units.
Okay, a can
of beer. The 330 ml of alcohol gives you 2 units. So then you think about our standard bottle of beer in Nigeria. I'm not sure what size is that, how many units we need in that. It's clearly more than the 3 units. So then you work it out, thinking you're only allowed 14 units, which would be considered as sensible usage of alcohol. Then you work out how much of that are you having. But then you've got to bear in mind that 14 unit for somebody, say a fit and healthy 25-year-old, will probably be too much. For somebody that's a bit older or maybe have some other health issues, then that 14 will probably become too much for that person.
Wow, good. But what of smoking, cigarette or any nicotine? Will it affect
nicotine and the liver? Cancer indirectly, but mainly the effect of that will go first on the lungs. But then that cancer that could result from smoking can happen anywhere in the body, but majority of it will be within the lung.
So Dr. Osela, liver disease can be inherited, right? Is it a genetic problem? Can we say?
There are some that are genetic. That runs in families. And if an index case, in other words, if somebody has been screened and found to have an inheritable liver disease, it depends on the kind of inheritance. I mean, it's a whole gamut of problems you can have. And if you're defined as having an autosomal dominant disease, what it's telling you is that a percentage of your children will have it. And it passes on to their own children. And if it's autosomal recessive, the same apply.
Oh, okay.
That at least 1 in 4 of your children will have it. But the thing is that it's a genetic test to define what that is. So that, like in this part of the world, once it's defined that there's a genetically kind of liver problem that the family has, then offsprings in that family will automatically be screened to find if they inherited it. I mean, the difficulty for us is that we don't work in that part of the world, so I'm not sure what applies, but clearly, yes, there are inheritable liver diseases.
Wow. And sometimes we don't know about this.
That's the point. You don't know that it runs in your family. You might get this historical fact of this person before he or she passed had yellow eyes, and then the tummy was blown up and they lost so much weight and stuff like that.
Wow.
That might be as much as you get, but you never quite know what it is. And we have this thing of saying that it's based on somebody did something.
Exactly.
Whereas it is something that runs in the family.
Yeah.
Again, that's what we're talking about, having your regular reviews. Because with the liver, you're not going to be able to see your liver. So you're not going to know what's going on. And body has a way of compensating. Yeah. So you have that problem. The organ will try to compensate and keep working until the balance is tipped. And then before you start getting the physically, the obvious symptoms that you could see, the swollen legs, the swollen abdomen, the change in your skin color. Whereas at the early stage, your doctor can pick up that this liver is not working as it should, and therefore look into why isn't it working as well as it should, to then determine what can be done about it. So that's where your health screening, your checkups, plays an important role.
Wow. So, like what you are saying, does it mean that if it is a genetic problem and it is detected, is it curable?
It can not curable then, but it can be then managed. You will then be given advice as to what can you do to delay, because it's something that it's going to get worse with time, because everybody, as we are all aging, you start to get your arthritis, your wear and tear within your joints. The same will happen in all your organs. So then if you know early on there is something wrong, then you will be given advice of what you can do to slow down the progression. You can't cure it because the problem is there already within your genes, within all the cells. So, but then you will be able to give an advice on how to delay the rapid progression.
And who knows whether we have the instruments. There are hospitals in Nigeria that have instruments because it's a special case and it needs a special screening.
What really happens, I don't think there's much of a genetic testing in Nigeria. Most of the things are sent to South Africa. And the limiting factor for most is money. Yeah, so things are hard, no two ways about it. And I don't think when it comes to a case of food and my children and getting to know what runs in the family, I mean, they need a rocket scientist to tell you which direction people would go. So they will go for what's going to happen. More so, even if you know what it is, yes, you can prolong life because there are certain medications and things that are primarily metabolized in the liver. And when you get such a call, the thing is to limit those things that get metabolized in the liver. Because if you keep exposing yourself to toxic substances, of which whatever you want to think about it, alcohol is up on the list, and being very fat, and having a lot of fatty deposits in the liver, it will eventually lead to cirrhosis. That was one of the questions. And I think at that stage it's a point of no return. So it's a case of if you know, it's identified, then preventive measures and prevent.
Oh my God, it's really scary.
John talked about units and
Yeah.
our units of alcohol. But that is nowhere near. People sit there and take times 3, times 4 in one sitting. And they do that day in, day out.
Oh
day
my
in.
God.
I mean, I went back home, like I said, I kind of observed by 8 o'clock in the morning, people are drinking life.
Wow.
And what's the other? Life beer. And what's the other one that is so popular?
So the bitters.
You have life and you have Heineken. They're not so much popular. You have Guinness, Nigerian Guinness.
Yeah.
As early as 8 o'clock in the
Oh
morning.
my God.
People are consuming life
Yeah.
and Guinness. 8 o'clock in the morning. Can you imagine what happens through the course of the day? Day in, day out. Day in, day out. Day in, day out. Boy,
Oh my God.
you just sit and oh no, what are you gonna drink? Oh, you're gonna life. 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God.
Boy.
It's a
Something.
Or the palm wine comes and
Oh,
the
the
fresh
palm
palm
wine.
wine.
And that one is
What about the kai? They listen to because they come here. Even when you have refined drinks like VSOPs and Remy Martins and stuff like that, they are not even ideal. But yes, as a treat, why not? But then you have situations where people come to, oh, my India China, they don't want this Oyibo drink. And go for something that is 40% proof.
Oh my
Kai
God.
kai snaps. Jesus Christ.
Operatia.
Wow.
I remember
That's our
sometimes,
lifestyle,
yeah,
isn't it?
honestly, I remember
lifestyle is
sometimes, it's really, I don't know how to, educate them on this. And most of the time, what they normally say, I've not eaten since morning, please, and I don't know when I will see this type of food again. Let me eat it now.
And I agree. There's a lot of difficulties back home. I'm not disputing that.
Yeah.
And people kind of, yes, I can't afford it, so if I can get it there, let me go there.
Okay.
However, as a treat and a one-off, it's not a problem. But when it's every day, you're then investing in ill health. And it will cost you more to take care of your health. Don't forget you may have young families.
Yeah.
They wouldn't want to be left without a
Father.
head of family. Purely because, oh, it's there, Maya did there. You can't take the drinks, it's not worth it. As a treat, why not? If you go to funerals, it looks like people just wish for some people to die.
Honestly.
Because it's like galore. Just go and have free food. Oh, yes, the food is fine, that's not a problem. But please, the alcohol consumption should be moderated. The dancing, I actually admire it because it's good. You're exercising, you sweat it off and stuff like that. But the alcohol consumption is just a bit too much.
We need to moderate.
Yes.
Yeah, we need to moderate on what we eat, alcohol and other stuff that will damage especially these vital organs, kidney, liver. If anything happened to them, oh my God. Yeah. Let us continue. And Doc, you have explained about obesity, how it affects our liver, and alcohol. There is a virus. Do we link viruses to liver as
Liver problems.
Yeah.
I mean, broadly speaking, you have your any virus can affect any part of our body. So, but when it comes to the liver, I think it's mainly the hepatitis virus that we worried about.
We will discuss that down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this virus is linked to hepatitis.
The HIV virus equally can affect.
Okay.
Yeah, it can cause problems within the liver. So all viruses, to be honest, can cause problems within the liver. Even the common cold virus, if it focuses within your liver and triggers that reaction, so basically it's your liver senses this thing should not be here and it wants to get rid of it. That's what triggers that inflammatory reaction within the liver we call the hepatitis. Then you need to know what is causing that hepatitis, and then that's when you find out that it's alcohol, it's drug, it's virus, or it's any other chronic problem within the body. That's what's causing that inflammatory reaction within the liver. So yes, and depends on what virus. A lot of them, the body can cope. The liver does what it should with the help of your immune system. Get rid of the virus, the toxin, everything settles, and the liver continues working normally. But unfortunately, some of them, the body cannot quite get rid of completely. That's when you then have the hepatitis carrier. You have the remnants of that hepatitis infection within the liver. You have that effect of the HIV virus because your body can't get rid of it completely. Then you have effect in the body. You're left with that alcoholic hepatitis because you're still consuming your alcohol. So it's ongoing reaction within the liver. Or you have your which other one is it? The drug. Because you're still popping your paracetamol, your Panadol, anti-malarial. Every sneeze, you go to the chemist around the corner, you buy a medication, you pop it without knowing what you're taking, and that's causing that chronic insult on your liver. That keeps going, comes to a point when the liver cannot repair itself anymore, and then you're left with a chronic liver disease and chronic liver failure.
And this many are people that any small thing they will go to chemists. Chemist, I have a headache and my stomach, and they give them medication. You go home, you drink. Oh, you feel somehow. You say, oh, I have malaria. You didn't do any test to confirm that you really have malaria. You go to chemist, you buy anti-malaria tablet. And I think my brothers, honestly, my younger brother does that almost all the time. I'll call him, oh, I'm feeling sick. He goes to the pharmacy. Buy and drink. I've told him several times, don't do that. Ensure that you really confirm, do lab and confirm that you have malaria before taking any medication. They take medication as if it's food. I don't know.
Because all these medications, yes, they've been manufactured for specific purposes, and every condition will be given a certain dose. And therefore, if you take in more than recommended, it's going to the liver. And the liver, trying to do what it does, will try to manage and break down that medication, distribute it within your system for it to work. And you're using that medication regularly. Of course, that is the ongoing insult on the liver.
And I think psychologically they have been, because if they don't take it, they feel, they will die.
Sometimes it's placebo effect, isn't it? Because even the medication you're taking, sometimes you only take it once, or maybe you feel that it's worked.
And if they don't take it, it's like, I'm dying. And psychologically, they are just, cold.
So really, if we can change the way, and I know again it comes down to cost. Can you pay that consultation fee to see a doctor? Can you then pay to have the lab run to then find out what is the problem before you start talking about what can be done about it? I suppose that's what pushes people to go and try and make things better themselves, isn't it? Because it's
really a difficult thing, honestly. It's really a difficult thing. The weather is too hot. We are enjoying hot weather. I don't mind. Because it's actually hot. All the time we always winter cold. Today is very hot, very, very hot, but I'm enjoying it. Doc, you are sweating a lot, right? Yes. We have water.
Yeah, she's got some water. Plus the light as well. Anyway, it's good. So it's good to sweat sometimes.
That is good. To go. Let us continue with our discussion. Do we need to say that there are other complications of chronic liver disease, Dr. Slam?